Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims and all our favorite horror movies. I'm Smurl. Today we're looking at the Conjuring 4, Last Rites, which actually came out this year in 2025. So yeah, this movie is pretty good to me, you know. It goes back to Ed and Lorraine Warren, you know, with the lore and all of that shit. You know how they did their first cases about this mirror that, you know, haunts this family and stuff. And, you know, it's just pretty fucked up throughout the movie, but this movie is pretty damn good. I actually really like this movie, so yeah. But how many people die in this movie? Let's find out. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins in 1964, where we learn that Ed and Lorraine Warren is just now working on their first case back in 1960. This girl named Victoria. She explains the time when she found her dad just dead right here, so I put him on the count as well. Since then, she says she always felt like that someone was always watching her. Then we see Ed and Lorraine just now investigating about the whole thing. Then we cut to Lorraine just going into this dark room by herself and stuff like that, and then she sees this mirror and stuff like that with this demon trapped inside of it too. Then as soon as she tries to just touch the mirror just ends up cracking soon as she touches it. Then later on at the hospital, we see Lorraine just now about to give birth. Then we see the demon just trying to torment her as she's going through this process or whatever, and then she ends up delivering their baby pretty safely. So yeah, the story jumps to 1986 in Pennsylvania and stuff like that. Cut to this girl named Heather, which is at her birthday celebration, and notices this same mirror, and then we see her pouring out her candle to her cake and stuff like that, and then we just notice this light fixture just falling on her head and stuff. Cut to Ed and Lorraine and in this class, you know, talking about their past cases, but the class in there doesn't want to hear about it, and then they all just end up leaving out of there. And we're back at the Smurl house, where the demon just starts to, you know, terrorize the family, and also, you know, starts messing with the little girl in there also. So yeah. Then one night after dinner, Heather and her sister starts talking about how the mirror feels creepy to them. Heather goes outside just to throw the shit away, hoping that it just gets destroyed. The mirror causes one of the family members in the house to be sick and just start coughing up glass shards, and then we see Ed at the doctor getting a checkup or whatever, and the doctor lets him know that he's at risk of a heart attack and stuff like that, and then he ends up going home, and then we see him at home just now getting there with Lorraine and just ends up hugging her. Then we see all the other guests about to attend the party and stuff like that and all that type of stuff. We cut to Tony telling Ed and Lorraine that he's gonna marry Judy at some point and stuff like that, and then we cut to her walking into the exact same garage and noticing the ring. Tony feels like this is a good time to do it, so he drops down on his knees and proposes, and then she obviously says yes. We cut to this priest asking Ed and Lorraine to help out with this different case and stuff like that, and then Lorraine tells them that they don't do cases anymore. Then we're back at the Smurl house and stuff like that, where we see the family currently having dinner. Smurl's daughter asks him and begs him to leave the house to move somewhere else. Bro obviously doesn't believe that the haunting going on in the house is real, and then he tells them that he already called the church, and the priest of the church will actually handle the shit, so be quiet. With his daughter being frustrated, she angrily leaves the table. Later on that night, we see the demon just lifting him up and holding him in place in the air and stuff like that, and then we also see her in her room getting attacked by that same demon. Her screaming wakes up the rest of the family in the house, rushing out to help her too, so yeah. Then the next day we see Judy, I guess, getting ready for the wedding or whatever and stuff like that, and then we see the demon, you know, just popping out of nowhere, just fucking with her. Then Lorraine just pops up in there, and obviously the demon ends up leaving. Then we see the priest just going back to wherever he came from and stuff like that, and then we see him, you know, just in here, and then the demon just ends up killing him by setting him on fire a lot. Then we cut to Ed just telling Tony what him and Lorraine actually be doing, and he shows Tony all the artifacts that they done collected from the past 3 movies, so yeah. Then later on that day, we all see them, you know, at the priest's funeral and stuff like that. Then we see Judy just asking this other priest where the other priest died at, and he ends up telling her that, you know, he died in Pennsylvania and stuff like that. Judy, just being curious, she learns about the Smurl family and actually finds their house. When Ed and Lorraine hears about this, they ask her can she leave with them and stuff like that. Judy just, you know, ends on, you know, insisting on staying and stuff like that, just helping out solving the problem too, so yeah. And she just ends up finally letting her parents convincing her to stay. Later on, we just see her messing around in the house and stuff like that. We cut to Ed and Lorraine just, you know, facing this mirror that they haven't faced in years. We just see them in the basement, you know, just checking the mirror out and stuff like that, so yeah. Then Ed has these other 2 guys carry the mirror out and stuff like that, you know, trying to get rid rid of it. Then we cut to Lorraine having an encounter with Judy as, you know, she learns the truth about the demon. The whole time, you know, she was trying to kill Judy and stuff like that, and he's always had his eyes on her. And everybody else finds non-cursed Judy just hanging up on this rope and stuff like that, and then Ed rushes in there just to save her just in time. And then at the same moment, the mirror just starts spinning uncontrollably and stuff like that. And we just see them, you know, destroying the mirror and stuff like that, having the curse lifted for good. We see Ed, you know, putting it in their artifacts room and stuff like that. And he points out to Tony why he's doing this, and he tells him that it's always good to keep the demons locked away. And we see Tony and Judy finally about to get married and stuff like that. And the movie ends with them just all dancing at the wedding, so yeah. Well, for my version of this kill count, by my count, I only count 2 kills in this movie, with both of them being guys. So yeah, there goes that cold ass pie chart, because it's cold as fuck outside. But with a runtime of 135 minutes, that leaves us with a kill on average every 67.5 minutes. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. And next week, I'll figure out whatever the fuck we're gonna be doing. If you have any recommendations, drop them in the comments. And also, yeah, until next time though, it's been a kill count.